What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another day and to another video. Hope all is well, guys. Today, December 14th, here in beautiful South Central Wisconsin. The lake is officially frozen all the way over. We had quite the cold spell for a couple days. Today is a bit warmer. We're at about 26 right now. And it feels pretty good after the last few days. Though it is still a bit brisk out here. Brisk enough to keep everybody away. Looks like I got this whole place to myself. Also brisk enough that I'm recording this with an ungloved hand. And my hand is froze already, guys. Then I turn the corner over there. It is much more brisk, headed this direction. You gotta admit, all those pieces of ice with the snow on top, looks pretty cool. Ever since this cold weather set in, I gained a couple extra lbs, guys. I'm assuming a lot of that is because I'm not getting out here to my walk spot and putting the miles in. Unfortunately, this spot here in town happens to be the windiest spot in town, more than likely. The lake here, it goes from west to east for a very long distance, and it's like a huge wind tunnel. Now you get that wind coming off a frozen lake, let's just say it makes for some pretty cold weather. So I don't come down here and get my miles in. A few lbs start adding up, and when I say that, I'm not concerned about that. I'm sticking to a good diet, so if I gain a couple, as long as I'm eating the right food, I'm fine with that. Though I still want to monitor it, make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. So in return, I'm walking at home on a treadmill. And let me tell you guys, I freaking hate that treadmill. When I'm walking at home on a treadmill, it takes everything just to push out a half hour. So what I've been trying to do at home is break it into two different sections. I'll do a half hour in the morning and a half hour in the evening, but still, that's only an hour. When I'm walking out here, I'm usually cranking out much longer than that. It's just nice to be outside, guys. Being inside in a room, in a heated room, listening to a podcast or something like that, it's just not the same as being out here. So this topic has been mentioned before. It often gets me wondering, is living in a cold climate like this for this many months bad for your health? Let's take today, December 14th. The shortest day of the year is December 20th, 21st. So as you can imagine, the sun sets very early right now. By the time you get up in the morning, get your day rolling, get a little bit of work in, all of a sudden, by 3:30, 4 o'clock, it's getting pretty close to dark. And them shorter days will likely lead to more depression and stuff like that. You know what the number one month for suicide is? That's right, guys. It is December. Somebody needs to go get me some ice skates. You won't see a ton of people ice fishing in this area. Buffalo Lake, it has a lot of springs and stuff like this. There's the main channel running through here. So I'm not sure how good this ice gets. It's good usually for a portion of the year, but it's kind of iffy if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, the shorter days, that can lead to some mental health issues. I'm usually pretty even keel about that, but it does get a bit depressing sometimes. I think the first half of the darker nights is a little easier than the second half, because the first part, you got Christmas and the holidays, and you got, the cozy season is kind of setting in, and that's kind of nice at first, but you start pulling out the second half, and being inside too much, that starts getting old in a hurry. Hence another reason is living in a cold climate bad for your health, because you spend too much time indoors. As far as my research is concerned, getting out in nature is a very good thing for your health. So I'm not sure how good it is being inside a heated houses. It gets pretty dry in the wintertime. The air is kind of stagnant. And then, of course, it is the cold and flu season. You start getting people round up in the same house. A lot of people in a small area. Plus, add the heat and stuff like that. Kids in school getting sick, passing it on to everybody around. It is hard to stay healthy, guys, this time of year. So them are 3 major factors of why a cold climate can be unhealthy. Of course, the short days, depression, a lot of people in a small house, and of course, the lack of outside exercise. That person I just showed you, it's like a 70-year-old gal, give or take. She is hardcore. She's always out here putting in the miles. Much respect to her. There was one time she was walking behind me, and I didn't think a big deal of it. I kept my pace, and she was inching closer and closer to me. So I picked up my pace a little more, trying to keep the distance, and she kept getting closer and closer. Finally, I just kind of stepped aside, let her go past me. Her pace was much quicker than mine, guys. And why is that? It's because she's out here every day putting in the work. It's kind of cool. If you guys watched the video from about a week ago, when the ice is forming, it makes some really cool sounds. And it's kind of doing that now, so that's pretty neat to hear. And another reason this time of year can be unhealthy, even though we do technically have total control over this, but it is what we put in our bodies, guys. Thanksgiving comes around, Christmas comes around, festive time of year, family get-togethers. There's a lot of, let's say, underwhelming food choices. And a lot of them food choices, they sure are delicious, let me tell you. I'm not sure if any of that ice noise was audible, but I tried, guys. And of course, we can't forget about the overindulgence of alcohol. You get to these family gatherings, you're overeating, you're eating too many desserts, you're throwing on some alcohol on top of that. That can lead to a possible disaster for some of us. I mentioned earlier, December, the #1 month for suicide. Well, what else is #1 during December? Maybe November and December? It is ER visits for heart patients. A lot of the ER folks will call it holiday heart. And it's just what I explained. Overindulgence. Putting too much questionable crap down the old pie hole. Which is the biggest problem for most people all time of year. So when we live in these cold climates, holiday season comes around, trying to survive the winter, what do we do? Here's one I kind of forgot. Of course, not getting outside leads to lower vitamin D levels. Maybe thinking about looking into a vitamin D supplement, at least for the winter time, is an option. Trying to find an indoor facility where you can put in an hour workout would be ideal. Because let's be honest, most of us are skipping workouts because it's just too freaking nasty outside. So whatever we can do to make sure we get that workout in, whatever that is, we should figure it out and do it. With the shorter days, you're gonna have to work around that. You're gonna have to get up and spend some time outdoors in the light, because spending too much time in darkness will also lead to darkness up here. And even if it's so freaking brutal outside, find a nice big window that lets some light in, and at least sit by that for a while. Read a book for a couple hours next to that window. If you can find a window with the sun penetrating through, sit in that sun when you can. And unfortunately, even if we do all that, it's just never going to be enough vitamin D. So we'll always be behind in the winter months on that. As of what you stick in your pie hole, you got total control of that, mostly. That takes a lot of willpower and just wanting to do the right thing. And in the end, that's going to be the most important decision on if you're going to be healthier or not healthier. There's a popular saying out there is you can't out exercise a bad diet. I definitely believe that to be true. Unless maybe you're getting into the more extremes. If you're running a lot of miles, you can probably get away with eating a little more crap than you should be. But for most of us, the best idea is to eat the best possible foods that we can and work out, you know, get outside and do something. Do it inside if you have to. It doesn't have to be extreme. You just got to move your body, guys. Walking, jogging, some calisthenics indoors. Maybe you got a video you can work out with on YouTube or something like that. It does not matter what it is. All that matters is you're consistent and you do something and you do it all the time. And then we grin and bear it till April or May. Or hopefully, if you can afford it and you got the time, take a little break. Head down south for a couple weeks or so. But generally, you want to get as far south as you can to get the best vitamin D on your vacation. Basically on the eastern side of the states here, anything above Atlanta, Georgia is not sufficient in the winter months. So that's probably why I say a vitamin D supplement isn't a bad idea. Maybe I should take my own advice. I am currently not taking one myself. Actually, currently I'm not taking any supplements at the moment. Mostly because I just don't take the time to order them and get them shipped to me. But if I had a choice, I would probably be taking vitamin D right now and some magnesium at least. Maybe some zinc, but I don't mind just trying to eat the right stuff and living that way. And here we are, guys, south central Wisconsin, maybe 26, 27 degrees. And I have worked up a sweat. About 1.5 miles in. Maybe we'll do another 1.5 miles and call it good. It's funny, 3 miles out here outside this cakewalk, 3 miles inside on the treadmill will feel like eternity. On that note, I hope this wasn't too all over the place, but I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys should get outside, go do something. If it's too freaking cold, try doing something inside. And if you guys made it this far into this video, what the heck is wrong with you guys? But I appreciate it, but I'm gonna let you go. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.